Into the darkness, we are one. Into the darkness, we almost run.
YouTube, allow us to beg your indulgences for one moment. Alex and Mike here, Second City Sleepers. We are going to educate you ignoramuses amongst what happened in Wrestlemania this past weekend. Started off, talk about the pre-show here real quick. Start off with the tag team, the four-way. For a pre-show match, it was actually pretty good, I thought. I mean, I'm not a big fan of the Matadors, and well, really the only ones I'm fans of were Tyson Kidd and Cesaro. I'm a big Cesaro fan. I talked about in one of our past videos in Create a Wrestler. Go check it out. Me, Mike, and Jake had good ideas with all three of them, I believe.
Yeah.
But text message. A good match all around. There wasn't any really big mistakes. I was a little upset though with Kidd and Cesaro being your champions. They were kind of like down and out of the match like most of the time, but the spots they had, it was always like a wow moment, the things they were doing, but don't really have much to say about it.
Yeah, I thought the tag match was really good. I actually think that it should have been on the main show. It was that good. Again, agree with you. Matador's not my thing. I like the two wrestlers individually. I wish they would do something else with them, just a gimmick. And El Toro, that's garbage. Tyson and Kidd, right team won. Uso, I guess one of them was hurt, so that's why they threw him out of the match real quick. And yeah, really good match, and I really feel bad for all those wrestlers that they were not on the main roster or the main show. I think, so I'll say it now instead of saying it later. I think that all the rappers and musical guests that are on these things should be on the pre-show. I think your damn talent should be on the real WrestleMania card. And I think it's a slap in the face to everybody, every wrestler that wrestled in that pre-show. It's a slap in the face that that woman rapping with Travis Barker, drumming, took up the time that they could have had on the main show. And I think that's crap.
Well, isn't it Jake said something, this is WrestleMania, not Music-a-Mania or something like that?
And he's right. I mean, that shouldn't be there. That match was good and highly entertaining, and it caught my attention the whole time. And it was a pre-show match, and it should be on the card. But I guess that's enough of that.
Yeah. But your winners are Tyson Kidd and Cesaro. They retain the titles, thankfully, thank God. I don't want to see a title change until you have Cass and... oh my God, I forgot his name in NXT. Cass and... oh, I forgot his name. It's my favorite tag team in NXT, and I can't think of his name. Enzo, yes. Enzo and Cass. They need to be your next tag team champions when they come up. But yeah, moving on, we had the second match in the pre-show, which I wasn't big on, mainly because of who won, but I do understand it.
Yeah, the Andre the Giant Memorial match.
You want to start this one off this time?
Sure. I mean, it was a battle royal. I like battle royals. They're fun. And really, the battle royal is all for your personal, fandom, I guess you can say. Who you want to win is who you want to win. I mean, myself, Curtis Axel is who I wanted to go over. Okay, so we both wanted Curtis Axel to go over. And also, I'm reading off the phone because Ryan, we talked about it. He couldn't be here to do the show. He's working. And so he gave me some thoughts to speak out for him, and I will. He also wanted Axel or Mizdow to win for his choices, and neither of them did. And once Axel gone right away, I was rooting for Mizdow as well. They played off a lot of things in this battle royal. A lot of things going forward. With Miz and Mizdow breaking up, and that's good for their feud going forward, or whatever they're gonna do. And I don't know. I mean, again, this is another thing I thought should have been maybe opening the WrestleMania instead of on the pre-show. But what do I know? He goes... Basically, he understands Ryan, this is, speaking for Ryan, he understands a big guy winning, and, and because it's a big match, it's a thing for the Andre the Giant, and I get it, and, so Ryan feels it should be big guys, and I'm kind of with him on that, but I think that this match should have been used to elevate somebody, and we thought we got that last year with Cesaro for a little bit, and he did get a little bit of a push, but then it went away, and it was upsetting. And so you have a second chance here to boost it, and you didn't. You gave it to Big Show, which they were claiming he never won a Royal Rumble or a match like this. And okay, before I go into the negative, I get Big Show doing it. It's kind of a nice little thing. He's the Giant, Andre the Giant. So I see what they were doing, but don't lie to us. Don't insult our intelligence. Big Show won a Battle Royal in WCW, the 60-man one, which gave him heat against the NWO when he was in the NWO, because then he had to fight Hogan for the belt. So he already won a Battle Royal. Like, don't insult our intelligence because, he's never won. Like, this is a big thing for him. No, he's already freaking won one. But, that's my issue with that. And, if Big Show won, I mean.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't big on it. Big Show winning, I understand it, but I'm with Mike. I think this type of match is some way to push a younger talent to try to elevate them more. I was very upset with the way they used Hideo Itami. And he was that one NXT guy that got brought up to be in this match.
And got a good pop.
Yeah, he got a great pop. And, I think there were a few GTS chants because I know that's one of his, signature moves. And they did, nothing with him. I think he might have took out one guy, I think.
I don't even remember. I know that he was in it for a little bit.
Yeah, he was in it for about 5, maybe 10 minutes. He made it at least through about halfway, I think.
Yeah, he was definitely in it for a while, and they did showcase him. I will say that they gave him a portion of the ring to do his work, and he worked. But yeah, I was expecting him to be a little longer. I didn't expect him to win. I wanted him to win. There was a small part of me that wanted him to win because I thought that would be cool. NXT guy coming up, and that's a big international superstar that they signed to NXT from New Japan Pro Wrestling, and but.
It's just a pre-show match, so I don't want to get into it too much, but yeah. So Big Show winning, I understand it 100%. Is it probably the best way they could have gone? Not at all. No. But now, kicking off WrestleMania, we had...
the IC?
Yeah, I remember I was upset because that was the first match. I thought that was a stupid way to kind of put that match first. I was a little disappointed with this because I expected this to be an amazing match because it's a ladder match and it's a bunch of guys that I like aside from Harper and Stardust.
Like Cody.
Go back to Cody. The Stardust character is bad, but we've discussed that before. I want to see Ambrose win it, but you kind of the two mid-card matches, which we'll get into the U.S. title match later. You kind of expected who was going to win. Just because to bring the belts up, but it was a great match all around. A little disappointed, like I said, expecting perfection with Dolph Ziggler.
Ziggler shined.
Yeah. Ziggler good. Ambrose took that huge bump from Harper. I'm like, out of all people, you take a big bump from Harper. I thought that was kind of stupid. But other than that, the match is good. I'd give the match a 7.
Out of 10?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ryan's view was he loved it. He said it was one of his favorite matches. He wished it was a little bit longer. He said he felt like some of the spots were, or some of the things were rushed a little bit. Maybe they were worried about time going on later on, which they had to fill with The Rock. But I digress. So yeah, Ryan said he loved it and he was all for it, and it was really good. Me, I thought it was really good as well. I'm fine with Daniel Bryan going over and winning that match.
Oh, yeah.
I think it does. I wish Ambrose would have won because it would have been his first and would have been something new. But maybe they have something planned for him in the future. It doesn't look like it off of Raw and SmackDown, but whatever. They need to make that belt prestigious, and having a great champion to do some matches and to go forward with it, I'm fine with. And so with Bryan winning, I'm good. I feel like he did the least in the match, though.
Yeah.
Maybe
I agree.
not because Luke Harper had some nice spots with the ladder. Ziggler impressed, and Ambrose, Ziggler and Ambrose stole the match.
Yep.
And Stardust had a couple moments, and Truth had his couple moments. The ladder, it was funny. Stardust's ladder, I wanted to bring that to point. It was funny, but unneeded. And then Barrett looked good. Barrett looked really well in the match too. I don't want to take anything away from the ex-IC champ. Very good match overall, and I don't have anything negative really to say about it. So,
nope. Not at all.
Do you remember what was next?
I think, wasn't it Orton and Rollins, I believe, was next?
It was. You're right. That is next.
See, this was my match of the night. That's the match I like the most.
Second favorite for me.
Yeah, I know which one you probably like the most. You like Cena's match the most.
Yeah. Oh, it's great.
But yeah, Rollins versus Orton, that match was outstanding. Those two work
Great.
so well together. It's one of those few pairings you see every now and then that it's like damn near a 5-star match every time they perform. And going into this, I thought I was gonna see Rollins winning this because
Me too.
if he lost, I couldn't see any way of him cashing in. But that kind of got explained a little bit more. We went into Raw, so I kind of understand it. Rollins goes down in the match from probably one of the greatest RKOs I've ever seen, and I've seen perfection with those RKOs before, but there was nothing like this. When Seth Rollins went for the curb stomp and popped up in the air, Orton put him in the RKO. It was outstanding. I actually cheered a little bit, not gonna lie, even though I'm a bigger Rollins fan, but I do like Orton. But yeah, I'd put that as a 4-star match, probably 9 out of 10 on that match. There was no botches on it.
No, I don't remember any botches. I thought the match was fantastic. Let me do Ryan's. He said, very shocked it went to Orton. He said it was a great match, sick RKO. But he thought he had to lose in my eye. In Ryan's eyes, he had to lose, because because he beat Orton in Mania, and then to go on and do what he did later on. He said it would have been too much for him. For Ryan's opinion, for Rollins to have too much of that at one night. But he also said it would have been cool if he would have done it both ways. I agree. I agree. It was a sick RKO. I mean, it was top 3 favorite RKOs I think I've seen. RKOs or diamond cutters or any variation of it. Probably one of the best. My favorite one from Orton that I can remember. Orton's RKO. I thought that was amazing. I thought the match was really good, highly entertaining. I think both of them shined, and I'm okay with Orton winning. I didn't care. I wanted Rollins to win because I didn't expect him to do anything else. So I wanted Rollins to win, but I like Orton, and it's actually probably better for Orton's character to take that win because why come back and take a loss? And Orton needs some wins, so when he does get beat, it means something again. Mm-hmm. So, kind of like Jericho needs some wins, so when he comes back and gets beat, it means something. So I'm good with it. I like the match. I agree, a 4-star match. It was really good, and I'm fine. And the RKO, if it was a 3-star match, the RKO made it a 4-star match.
Yeah, it did.
But yeah, so was Sting Triple H next?
Yes, I believe so.
Oh man, this is gonna be a lot.
This might be a long part between both of us, but I'll let you go first this time.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, Sting Triple H. Let me try to paint this picture for you, the viewer. Sting's my favorite wrestler of all time. Not because I think he's the best wrestler, but just my favorite character, superstar-ish type of all time. He's my number 1 guy. I thought the build up to this was not great. I like that Sting's there. I didn't want him to happen in the beginning. I didn't want him to go to WWE because I feared that WWE would bury him. That was my fear for Sting. I didn't want to see my favorite wrestler that never wrestled in WWE for all those years to be buried by WWE or WWF, whatever. So he comes at a Survivor Series, he puts down the Authority, he helps Ziggler get his best win of his life, then Ziggler goes away and does nothing because WWE sucks. We have Triple H talk smack, eventually gets Sting gets the opportunity to end a Raw with Orton, which was a cool moment we talked about in the past. He got to start a Raw, which is a cool moment, and it was a good promo from Sting that basically stated all the crap that the Hunter was saying about, this fallen last soldier from WCW. Sting came out and said it was stupid. Why would he fight for a company that lost and a company that's done and gone away? He's fighting because he's sick of the Triple H, the Authority, the power, being abused. And that's what he was fighting for. He was being the face, a good guy, fighting the heel, bad Authority figure. Oops, sorry. And that's what, in Sting's mind, that's what it was about. Right away, Stephanie had to come out and say, no, it's about WCW. It's like to me, either A, Sting didn't agree with what they were doing and just ad-libbed it himself, and then Stephanie didn't like that and they came out and just rewrit what they wanted to write. So I don't know if there was some behind the scenes thing or if they just didn't really think their thing through. That's just me conspiracy theory-ish. Okay, match itself. So you have a little bit of backstory, what was leading up to it. The match itself, I thought Sting's entrance was crap. One, the whole genre of WrestleMania being outside, I'm fine with. It was too damn light. All the entrances were Taker's entrance should have been dark, not dark. Sting's entrance should have been dark, not dark. Triple H's entrance should have been dark, not dark. This all Bray Wyatt. I mean, I can go on and on. A lot of it just took away from the atmosphere because it wasn't domed or they couldn't, they couldn't get the entrance to need to be dark. So that right there was bad. What's with all the Japanese gongs and drums? Sting's not Japanese. He didn't even wrestle in he did wrestle in New Japan. He did wrestle in Japan, but that was like a long time ago before his TNA stint and after WCW, and even he has no ties to Japan or China or anything like that. I didn't get it. So that was bad. I never got my Sting entrance that they gave us for the WWE 2K Sports.
Yeah, they ruined that.
And I really wanted that, so I don't get why that didn't happen. You would have gave us that entrance, it would have been phenomenal. So we got a bad entrance, okay, whatever. Triple H's entrance comes out. I dug the Terminators coming out of the thing. Let me get through this so you can understand where my mind is. I thought it was cool. I thought it was paying a little homage to Schwarzenegger, and then Schwarzenegger because of them both doing the Hall of Fame thing together. And I thought that was kind of cool. The helmet was horrible. His little arm thing was bad. I did kind of dig. I stopped laughing and I dug the searching for Sting because it was corny. It was corny, but I dug it. I get it. Triple H's over the top entrances and all that, so I was okay with it. I didn't say I loved it. I said I dug it enough. Then the match starts, and I thought it was a good beginning. I thought the match was going pretty well. I loved the pedigree, or not the pedigree. I loved when Triple H would do a move and the Sting got up and just was like, no, sold it. Like, what are you doing? Trying to flaunt? I'm Sting. I'm the Stinger. I loved the match. And then DX music hits. And I dropped my head, rolled my eyes. I was like, why are they going to ruin this crap and blah, blah, blah. And Sting takes him out. And I'm like, okay, kind of cool. Well, there was enough interference, blah, 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 that here comes the NWO. I'm like, and then again, drop my head, what the F? Why are they doing this? This has nothing to do with Sting Triple H. This has nothing to do with it. And, I mean, okay, now the little 15-year-old boy fan of me was kind of happy about the NWO DX thing, but it wasn't done right. I liked seeing that, but it's stupid for many reasons. Let's try to, hopefully you all follow me on this. One, Sting was never in the black and white NWO that involved Hogan, Nash, and Hall. Never. Sting was in the red and black that involved Savage, Nash being the only member in that. And Luger and him and Conan, all people that weren't represented there, all people that had nothing to do with the original three outsiders. They were just this little wolf pack thing that did their own thing, and they were the faces. They weren't the heels. They weren't the taking over like what the Hogan, Hall, and Nash were. Hall and Nash are known best friends with Triple H, so why would they even be taking Sting's side? If they were hugging, they were all hugging, what, like a month ago on Raw before this? I can buy if Hogan came out in his Hulkamania stuff, helping out Sting. I would have bought that because Hogan and Sting did pair together when they both were good guys. I would have bought Nash without the NWO gear, helping out Sting because they are legitimately friends and they did a lot of TNA stuff together. And with the Wolfpack, I would have bought that. Or if he just came out with Wolfpack stuff and no Hogan and no Hall. And, if you really wanted to go out and do that, you could have grabbed other people. But, I guess you really can't because Conan's old and can barely walk in Lucha Underground. And Savage, unfortunately, God rest his soul, is not with us. So, it just, and the fact that they did that was just bad. I lost respect. Triple H used to be one of my favorite wrestlers, and I lost respect for Triple H in this match, that he had to put his ego into this, and Vince McMahon, because I'm sure you had your hand in this, because WWE had to win. You had to beat a dead horse that you already won. You already beat this company. You took the big loss. You took a bunch of losses in battles, but you eventually won the war because you bought out the company, and well, you didn't get the ratings back anyways toward the late 90s. There was no point for this. And honestly, DX, you can go watch our old video when we did NWO versus DX. There's no damn way that NWO still would have lost because you only used three members, and you used the dinosaur and Hogan. You used the guy that has a bad hip, had so many hip replacements in Hall, and Nash can barely move anymore for some reason. He looked bad. And the NWO would have won for just sheer numbers. Where were the other 50 NWO members to come help out to take out your 5 DX members? Okay. Did I get that enough, you think?
Yeah, where was Kurt Hennig at?
Well, he's dead too.
Too soon?
Yeah, well, I mean, I wouldn't say too soon, but I mean, so much wrong there. So the whole ego thing of DX having to win and the whole, and the whole clique divided, but then they're going to help. Bad. It ruined the match for me. It ruined WrestleMania. If you follow us on Facebook, I demolished. I completely lost faith in the rest of the WrestleMania. I bashed it, and now I've calmed down. And I'm level-headed, and it's not as bad as it was. And actually, WrestleMania in whole was really, really good, and one of my favorites. Minus this, if I take this match away and throw it in the trash, pretend it didn't happen, it's one of the better WrestleManias to me. If I keep thinking about this match and how bad it was to me as a fan, as a logical wrestling fan, not even like my fandom of who cares who wins, just like watching this match, it turned out to be garbage. All the extra crap, and then it ends. It ends with a sledgehammer, which was broken, by the way, by Sting's bat because he cheated, and then Hall had a bat, and then they ended up breaking, and then Sting did the good thing and dropped the bat off to the side to beat him up again. But then DX gets back involved and takes out 3 members of NWO, and then they interfere, and then you get a sweet chin music when Hunter's basically beat in the ring because Sting done beat him, but the ref didn't see it, and then you get a sledgehammer to the face for the end. 1, 2, 3. Okay, fine. Triple H, why do you have to win this match? It does you nothing. You don't have to win. Sting's first and probably maybe only match in WWE, he's going to lose. Yes, it's cool that he got to do the ending of Raw and the beginning of Raw, and he got a Survivor Series spot, and he got a Fastlane appearance, and he got his WrestleMania moment, I guess, with a shit entrance and a shit match and a shit finish. What was the point of that? Oh, Vince, I know the point of it was to bury the last WCW guy that you didn't get. And Sting's ego I know he doesn't need it for a win because he's got nothing to prove. He wanted his WrestleMania spot. I'm sure that's what this was all about for him. But really, I mean, that was just piss poor. I lose more respect for you, Vince. I don't even barely have any for you anymore. And Triple H, as much as I had for you, I lost more. That's just crap to me. It's crap that you did that. I can get away. I don't even. There's no reason to me that you have to take that win. And why would a heel Triple H stay in your character, Dick? Why would a heel Triple H shake a man's hand when you just hit him with the sledgehammer to beat him? Because you can't beat him regularly? If you would have pedigreed him without the cheating and won, no problem. I wouldn't have liked that Sting would have lost, but at least as logic, it would make sense. And then Sting, as a face, why are you shaking his hand? Why do you shake a man's hand who just hit you with the sledgehammer and had to pull out all his boys to help you? And then why were you even cool with the NWO being there? It just, the logic of wrestling was gone out of this match. And you had crap entrance, but you had a great match going until you ruined it with nostalgia that you got a big pop for because everybody loves DX and everybody loves the NWO, but the logic went away and it ruined the match and it ruined the rest of my night at WrestleMania for me. So thank you for ruining WrestleMania for me. Luckily, I only pay $9.99, and you know what? I consider that $9.99 going to NXT because I can give shit about your pay-per-views anymore because they all suck. And I'm done. I haven't watched SmackDown since Edge left. And oh wait, I watched a couple when Punk was there doing Shield work because you had to put somebody with importance on SmackDown because no one was watching it. And Raw, I fast forward through and I watch it in 20 minutes. Although the one after WrestleMania, I'll give you a little bit of props to that was a pretty decent Raw. About time he did one in 6 years.
Shit just got real.
Your turn.
Wow.
That was probably a 20-minute rant on that too, but
Well,
I didn't even get it all out.
damn.
Sorry, you should have went first, huh?
Damn.
Do you want me to do Ryan's real quick?
Yeah, go for it.
Ryan writes in Sting versus Triple H's ego match. I'm right on basically everything I just said. This match was stupid, in my eyes, pointless. I think Sting versus Taker made more sense. Never did I ever think I'd see Triple H versus Sting. There's a list of other guys I would have picked over him, but that's Triple H for you. The NWO DX thing was cool, but 10 years too late. I agree. Sting was never with the NWO, only Wolfpack, which I stated, and he will always be a WCW guy. Guys like DDP, Booker T. Flair, or even Malenko got shit on by Triple H. Except for his buddy Nash getting him the spot somehow after the Hall of Fame thing from the night before. That's probably what that was about. Overall, this match should have went to Sting. Well deserved, and everybody wanted it. Just didn't like the old stables had to come out and ruin it. That's Ryan's point at it.
Okay. Put my thoughts on it. Going into it, this was probably the match I was looking forward to mostly night just because it's Sting. You know, Sting's not quite in my top 5 all time, but he's in my top 10. The way they booked this match, like you said, was there's no logic behind it. Instead of booking it as the Icon versus the Game, you know, the King of Kings, you booked it as WCW versus WWE, which it's been done. It was done 15, 20 years ago when WWE passed WCW.
I mean, the
and
whole
put them out of
invasion arc,
business.
isn't that the...
Yeah, it was stupid the way it did it. I mean, as a fandom, as being younger when I first started watching wrestling again when I was like 13, 14, seeing NWO and DX come out, it was great. But as far as from like a story standpoint and a logic standpoint, like you were talking about, it made no sense whatsoever. All it did was feed Vince's and Triple H's ego as they beat WCW, which it should have nothing to do with this match. It was complete horseshit. There goes PG.
Oh, I did that word too already.
I was extremely disappointed. I was disappointed with who won. You know, one of my buddies, you know, I talked to him about it the day after at work. He's like, well, Sting had to lose because if he win, what else would there be for him next? I'm like, well, there's nothing else for him left now that he lost. What is he supposed to prove? He had his WrestleMania moment, kind of.
Yeah, kinda.
What else does a man need to achieve? What's he going to do? Go to Ring of Honor now and do something?
That'd be cool. I watch Ring of Honor, so I'd be fine with that.
Yeah. And I just don't get what they're doing. You know, Triple H's ego is starting to get better than Vince's. I am foreseeing. You know, the only good thing they got going right now is NXT. And once that starts to get even bigger than Raw and SmackDown, all that, Vince is going to take control of it somehow, and he's going to ruin that too. Guarantee it. And it's just despicable the way they made this match turn out, with the whole WWE being better than WCW. And the NWO stuff, Sting was always against NWO in WCW. What was the logic behind that? I don't get it. You know, Sting losing, it pissed me the hell off. It kind of ruined the pay-per-view for me as a whole. And that's all I got.
Okay. I probably could talk more on it, but I know we got to cut this for him. Women's match, I honestly didn't watch it.
Yeah.
I walked away. I went to the bathroom. I picked things up. I played with my kids. I talked to my buddy who came over with me. I came back just to see the Bellas lose.
Yeah.
Done?
Yeah, I didn't pay much attention, so yeah. Next up we had
Cena
Rusev. John Cena sucks. John Cena sucks. You know, the match actually wasn't terrible.
No, it was good. Actually, it was a good match. It was a 3-star match.
Yeah, I somewhat enjoyed it. I mean, Rusev is starting to grow on me a little bit. I mean, I was never a fan of him, but I'm loving this whole Russian, you know, screw USA character more and more and more. I think it's great what he's doing, and Lana kind of
helps.
It makes it a lot better.
She's really good.
And when she's away, because I know she's doing a movie right now, I think.
Yeah, for WWE.
Yeah, and when she's away, Rusev just doesn't kind of work. And the way they used Rusev on Raw this past Monday, who did he fight? Goldust?
Yeah.
I don't understand what they were doing with
I think what it was Goldust is an established guy. I think that he needed to get another established win to get back on track. And that's what that was for, I think. It was just all that what it was.
I thought it was a waste of time.
It was an okay match.
Yeah, it was okay.
It was okay. It wasn't good. It wasn't bad.
Yeah, of course you're going to have Cena going over. You know, you couldn't see Rusev going over in this, which is kind of ridiculous considering you built up this, I think, and I quote what Jake said, you built up this monster for months and damn near a year now, over about a year, just to have him lose the biggest match of his career against WrestleMania because John Cena cannot push over young talent and he cannot job to anyone because his ego is bigger than Vince's and Triple H's.
Mine?
Yeah.
Ryan didn't talk about it. So he probably didn't talk about it because he's a big Cena fan. He didn't want to put it on here,
Oh, yeah.
so we don't bash him. But that's
That's
just
all right, Ryan.
I have to talk about the entrances. I thought Russo's entrance was the best entrance I've ever seen at WrestleMania.
Yeah, that was outstanding.
I loved it. I mean, I'll USA all the way. Okay, don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But I love the Russian soldiers. I love them holding the flag out there. I love the tank, dude. That was so cool. The cannons firing. I thought that was the most over the top, best WrestleMania entrance I've ever seen.
And
It's not
Enzo was one of the Russian soldiers.
Well, I didn't pay attention. I'm not saying it's not the best entrance because Taker's had some great ones, and when Sting first did his "Shut the Lights Out," the Dark Melody, I loved it. Triple H has had good entrances. I mean, there's been some great entrances throughout all this. Cena's entrance with the video montage of all the American stuff was really cool,
that was
really
cool.
nice, patriotic. I think they piped in cheers for him when he came in, but Cena's beginning of the entrance was good. They went all out, and it was an A+ on the entrances. I thought the match was a 3-star match.
Which is kind of like a 30-star match considering Cena was in it, which is usually really bad.
I do wish, like you said, for the reasons Jake that mentioned, I wish that Rusev would have won, but I completely understand, and I'm completely fine with WWE trying to but trying to glorify the belts again, and I'm all for it. And Cena having to win the belt, and then he has a nice match with Ambrose the following night, which of course we both want Ambrose to win, but we knew it wasn't going to happen. I just wish they wouldn't use Ambrose because I feel like they're just starting to push him back down again when they just brought him up, and I don't understand why to do that. So I wish they would use somebody else that would have came out and got a good match out of him. I don't know who, but just somebody else. So there's that. We don't need to talk any more of that. We got Taker and Wyatt.
Taker and Wyatt. I understood this kind of being WWE's way of kind of passing the torch to the next dark character, which we discussed in the past on our WrestleMania preview show. We talked about it. But that's only if Wyatt wins. And personally, I couldn't find a reason for Wyatt winning, and I couldn't find a reason for Undertaker even when you're having another match. The streak's over. There's no point to having him back unless he would fight Lesnar to try to reclaim his...
Jake had a nice idea.
Yeah.
Fight Lesnar, get the win back, hand the belt in on Monday. I don't need this. I proved my point. That was a fluke last year, and boom.
Yeah. I mean, Undertaker actually looked in a lot better shape than he did last year.
He did very...
I think a lot of it had to do with he had his hair back, kind of. I think.
Well, the look was good, but he didn't look sluggish. He still looked old.
Yeah.
Sting looked old too, but he still looked really in good shape. I didn't mention that. But yeah, you're right.
Match wasn't bad actually.
It was okay.
It was really awesome when Wyatt was doing that reverse push-up crawling thing. I don't know what you call that.
I don't know. Crab walk upside down crab walk.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, and then as soon as he got to Undertaker did his little sit-up thing. I thought that was like kind of like a goosebump, like chills moment a little bit when that happened.
Yeah.
But like I said, decent match, and especially Undertaker he's getting so old now, and he's only wrestling one match a year, so he doesn't really have as good a training under his belt as he used to have in the past. But Undertaker goes over, thankfully. I mean, I don't understand the point of this match. Like I said, I don't think they really gain anything. But Undertaker, after losing last year, winning this year, I guess it's a good thing.
Yeah, I'll do Ryan's real quick. Were you done, bud?
Yeah.
Okay. Ryan said, Undertaker looked great. Was happy to see he was in good shape and good to go. Have a little hope that he might do a Brock thing and wrestle a few pay-per-views retiring, but that's just a kid me, he says. He said it was an okay match, but it was really nothing without the streak, which I completely agree with. Still liked seeing Taker at Mania, which I also agree with. He said the hype just isn't there for him, and I agree with that as well. Still don't know why it ended, the streak meaning. He said he thought Sting versus Taker should have been the match that would have probably got more hype with the streak intact. Meaning, I'm sure he's meaning would have got more hype and would have sold better. But he liked the match. I agree with basically all that. I don't think it should have been Sting Taker unless the streak wasn't intact. then that would have been cool. But it also would have still been 10 years too late. But at least it would have been cool to see that match. And then Sting losing his only match in WWE would have been okay if the streak was still intact. Unless, of course, Taker was like, you know what? You're the dude that I would want to have beat the streak. And then I would have been completely stoked as a fan that he was the one that ended the streak. Now I'm okay with Brock ending the streak because he hasn't been beaten since then, so he's still like undefeated since then, and I like that. The Taker Bray Wyatt thing, I didn't care about the match. It was an average match. I didn't care because of the streak not being there. It was cool, absolutely, to see Taker wrestle again. I hope I still get another one next year because that'll still be cool. But it's just not the same meaning. And I got bashed on Facebook for saying that, but whatever. That's just how I feel.
It's everyone's own fandom.
Yeah. But let's. And I already stated the entrances needed to be dark, and thanks for...
Yeah, that was one problem with this entry. It was light outside. That should never have it outside again. The entire show looked like a pre-show.
Kind of.
With it being so light. I didn't like it, but were you done?
Yeah.
Okay, well, going on next real quick, we had the segment with The Rock come out. Rock comes out, woo!
It was a great segment.
Yeah.
It was highly entertaining.
Ronda Rousey kind of working overstepping Triple H was pretty awesome.
Yep. I mean, and maybe hopefully we get some kind of mixed tag match later on, and which would then lead to The Rock and Triple H next year at Mania, just to have that one more time, because they're always really good together. But yeah, we don't really need to talk about that, do we?
No. Just touch base on it real quick.
Yeah. So main event. Brock Lesnar.
My client
Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot that.
is the one behind the one in 21-1.
Versus Roman Reigns. Go first, because I have a nice little thing for this.
Okay, coming out to it, okay, you have Roman Reigns, your winner of Royal Rumble. Nobody wants to see him to it. His music hits, 60,000 fans boo. And they try to cover it up, and they can't do it. Brock Lesnar, you're a heel.
Push the fan, too. Did you see that when he was coming down? I thought that was good.
Yeah, it was good. Brock Lesnar, who is the heel, the mean guy, the beast incarnate. His music hits. You have over 60,000 fans cheering. What's wrong with that picture?
WWE's marketing. Or promoting.
Yes. They promote guys then who aren't ready for the big spotlight. I just don't get it. But getting into the match was actually really good. It was brute. It was just straight like tough guy versus tough guy who can hit the other person harder. I don't know what Lesnar's suplex count was because the WWE Network was going on every 5 to 10 minutes.
I think they said 10 suplexes, variations of suplexes, and 4 F5s. That's what I thought I remember WWE saying. And yeah, I was having problems with that.
We should get the next month network for free for missing a lot of Mania from cutting it in and out. That was kind of, well, since we're not I already ruined PG, it was bullshit. But yeah, great match. A lot better than I thought it was going to be because I don't like Reigns whatsoever. I don't think he can wrestle at all.
I'm gonna touch on all this. But
getting on through the match, there was a whole sort of issue that came about with Lesnar having a razor blade cutting himself. It was handed to Roman Reigns and then he handed it to Lesnar or something. I don't remember how it went. Who gives a damn? Honestly. Everyone's making a big deal about it.
Yeah, see, originally I bought that he hit his head for real.
That's what I thought too.
I didn't know there was a razor blade involved. I heard about that later.
Yeah,
I thought that he took the bump and then they played off of it, or maybe he knew he was going to take the bump and they played off it. I don't know, but if it was razor blade, whatever. I know we're not in the 80s no more, but whatever. I thought it was a good turn of events.
Yeah, everyone's making a big deal about it. I don't understand it. But moving on through the match. I got a few minutes. Moving on through the match. I was starting to get the feeling that Reigns was just going to kind of Super Cena it up and get through Lesnar somehow. And then Seth Rollins' music hit, and I was immediately upset because I was saying he's not going to cash in and win after losing to Orton.
Which we all agreed on in the
which we did. And thank the Lord above that I was wrong about that. Rollins comes in, looks outstanding for about 5 minutes. Yeah, the spear from Roman into Lesnar. Lesnar rolls out. Rollins curb stomp the Reigns. 1, 2, 3. Your new WWE World Heavyweight Champion.
One of the coolest.
The future
ones
of WWE is now your title holder. Future is now.
Okay, I'm going to do Ryan's before I get in mine. Ryan writes it's a very stiff match. They were really slugging at one another. Wasn't really getting the smiling from Reigns. He didn't like the smiles from Reigns. I did.
Yeah, I liked it.
Anyways, I felt like the match was more of a hazing. Like, are you ready for this? Are you ready to handle being the champ? And an ass beating. And he thinks Reigns is not ready, and WWE finally realized it and changed the game plan. He said he wanted Brock to win, but man, when Rollins' music hit, he went nuts. Ryan went nuts. He was happy as hell that he's our champ. He's going to be a good champ that has some great feuds going ahead of him. But Ryan really enjoyed the match. He said he thought it was a hazing beating, like welcome to the big leagues, and like you had to pay your dues beating. And I kind of agree with that. But here's my thing on this match. I actually really liked the match. I loved how I loved how it was just a repeat of SummerSlam, except insert Roman Reigns instead of John Cena. I was a little worried that he was starting to Cena it up, and he did. He did kind of Cena it up. He took the beating like Cena and kept getting up, but I like how he did it in a little like diabolical, little vicious way. Not like a heel, but not like a face. He kind of teetered the line. I like how he gave him the smile and was like, "Yeah, come on." Unlike Cena with just like no sell it and get up and do an AA because that's all he can do, or horrible Hurricanrana and a crappy Insiguri. Or a bad Faymaster off the top ropes. Did you see that horrible stunner he tried to do?
Oh my God.
I forgot to mention that. But anyways, back to this match.
Yeah, we're not mentioning it again.
I did not. I love the Shield. Okay, let's go back to that. I love the Shield. I loved all three members of the Shield. That includes Roman Reigns. See, I always have. I've liked all three. I thought Rollins was the best one. I thought Ambrose was number 2, and I thought Reigns was the weak link. But I still liked all three of them, and I thought all three of them, and I still think all three of them are going to be stars, and they're going to be. I did not like the push from Royal Rumble through. You can watch our little videos, you'll know. I will state that match he had against Lesnar made me see whatever WWE sees in him. Absolutely. He's not ready yet. By no means is he ready, and I'm not a solid believer that he should have the belt anytime soon. He needs the mic work because he's bad at it. Oh, he needs more of a moveset, which I think they're starting to give him now. I think he's starting to get a little bit more out of the 5 Moons of Doom, which he needs. And I think he has. I think they just don't let him do it because WWE constricts moves for some reason. So Reigns, I am believing in you to be a part of the future and maybe the face if that's what they're going to do with it, but not yet, and don't force it, WWE. He had a great showing. That match was great. Rollins cashing in was fantastic. Rollins is the future. I've said that for a long time, and not because if it's his pun for his lines. He is. He's great. We've watched him in Ring of Honor and AEW. That dude is amazing. He can go. And he's going to play a great heel champion. Oh, yes. And fans understand this is a character he's playing. When you boo him because he's a heel, not because you actually really, really don't like him, because he's playing this crappy heel character. Remember when The Miz played the heel character? Boo him because he sucked. Don't boo Rollins because that dude is amazing, and I know he got a lot of cheers from a pretty good crowd on Monday night, but that crowd's gonna go away because they're gonna get the stupid crowds in some other shithole that they're gonna go to. Oh man, this is not really a PG show. Some crap hole they're gonna go to. And he's going to get his booze back, and he's going to have to work on him. So he's going to tell us all how we suck and how we're idiots for not cheering him and whatever. He's going to do it great, and I can't wait to see what they're going to do with him. And I hope WWE's got a nice little run for him, and they don't just feed him to Brock Lesnar, because let's face it, right now he's not beating Lesnar. Not as this little.
Well, I read that this whole suspension thing is a way to keep Lesnar wait till like SummerSlam.
Well, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I mean, obviously that was great, and that was great written. By the way, a little side note: Lesnar's freaking meltdown on Monday night was one of the coolest things I've seen
awesome.
Ever. Thank you for F5ing Michael Cole. I wish you would have done him 2 or 3 times instead of the poor cameraman, but whatever, cameraman. I'm sure you looked like you were a wrestler somewhere, so you jobbed to Brock Lesnar. You got your moment of fame. Good job, cameraman.
Go do that to Graves in NXT.
Now, why is Michael Cole on SmackDown, by the way? Why he on Monday night?
SmackDown's still on?
Yeah, I know. I read about it. On Monday night, he had some kind of back injury and nerve endings and don't know if he was going to live, and now he was on SmackDown. Come on, David, you get your shit right.
Yeah.
But that's that match. I know we got to wrap this up. I was super pissed. This is my final thought for the show. Not our final thought, but the show. I was super pissed after the Triple H and Sting match. I was completely against everything. It took me out of WrestleMania. It ruined my WrestleMania for me. I've had time to think about it. This is now 4 days later, 5 days later. WrestleMania was really good, minus that Triple H ego crap, horrible nostalgia crap 50 more times that you gave us. You should punch yourself in the face, Triple H. Stephanie, then you should kick him in the balls if he has any of them left, or put him out of your purse and back into his ball sack and then kick him, because that was crap. And Triple H, if you watch our reviews ever, you know that I actually really like you, but that was crap.
Well then, final thought about WrestleMania. I'm in the same boat. After watching it past Sunday night as soon as it ended, the whole Triple H Sting thing threw me down. I was like, this pay-per-view is like a 3 or 4 out of 10 if that is terrible. But I thought about it the next day while I was at work. And you know what? It was actually pretty good. All the matches were good, aside from the Triple H thing, the way it went about. But all the matches were really great. Some of the results I didn't see coming. They weren't as predictable as we thought they were going to be. Some didn't go the way we wanted to, but it all ended good. So, WrestleMania, I'd give it a 7 out of 10.
If you take the Triple H and Sting match, I actually would give that a 9 out of 10. If that didn't happen, or if it happened better. But because of that, I'm giving it an 8. Well, you know what? I mean, really, I want to give it a 3, but I'm going to not be a stupid fan, and I'm going to give you a 7.5. I'm going to give you a 7.5.
Okay.
Because of the Triple H thing. It would have been a 9. 9.5 maybe. It was really good minus that.
So, regular final thought about wrestling. Just came to my attention today that AJ Lee has retired
From WWE. Will we see her anywhere else? Who knows?
That's my final thought.
I'm gonna go with Rollins. WWE, I hope you do not ruin what Rollins can do as his heel. And if you run out of ideas, because he's got Ziggler, Bryan, he's got Orton, returning Lesnar, he's got people he can feud with as a heel. And if you need to turn him face, he can do that too. And he can shine in the ring as a face without having to have J&J security and have to be a little cowardly heel thing that you got him running on. Do not ruin him. Let him have a nice run. I don't necessarily want him to be breaking records run, but if he loses it, have him gain it back like the next week or the next month or something. Let a rivalry shine here. How about what happened to rivalries? About a challenger and a champion would go back and forth swapping victories and swapping the title a few times. Let them do something like that.
It's too simple and entertaining now.
Yeah, I mean, even if it's with Orton, because I think those two obviously work well together, so let them have a title swap. Plus, I wouldn't mind Orton's numbers in title range being up there by Cena because he deserves it. Mm-hmm. That was my final thought.
Final thoughts. But as always, guys, that was our WrestleMania review.
Let us know what you think.
Yeah, if you liked it, hit the like button below. Go ahead and share the video, favorite it, comment on it, letting us know what you think, giving us your own ideas and how you thought the show could have gone better. Subscribe to the channel. Twitter and Facebook down below. Not sure if I mentioned that.
Yeah, you did.
And you want to take us home there, Sandow?
SCS fans, you're welcome.
Take it easy.